Hard at work again, huh?
What?
Aren't you supposed to make a film today?
I'm looking for inspiration.
Good call. I heard most great films were inspired by Instagram.
Shut up.
Wow. Bro thinks he's an artist now.
I'm literally just trying to get better at drawing.
I've been drawing the same thing for weeks now.
That's how everyone says you get better.
Bad news, bro. It is not working.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome? Looks more like you're building Cleveland.
Look, I'm not trying to change the world here. I'm just trying to get a little better at this.
And imagine if you treated filmmaking the same way.
You're such an asshole.
Yeah. You know I'm right, though.
I've been trying to learn to draw lately. It's something I loved and did all the time as a kid, and I'm not really even sure when or why I stopped doing it. So I've started trying to draw just a little bit every single day, and it is quickly becoming one of the best parts of my day. The whole concept of a sketchbook is so freeing. A sketch is literally defined as a rough or incomplete drawing or painting. So there's no inherent pressure to fill this thing with any complete thoughts. No need to dedicate all of my energy into a single page and make it perfect. And so it got me thinking like, oh man, I wish there was a sketchbook, but for filmmaking. And then I kept thinking, wait a minute, all I do is sketchbook filmmaking. YouTube is literally the perfect sketchbook for filmmakers. I'm not trying to make feature films on here that'll end up in the Criterion collection. I'm not trying to submit anything here to Sundance. I'm literally just trying to make entries in a sketchbook and get a little better at filmmaking. And that's a beautiful thing that should be so liberating. So I just wanted to share a few lessons that I've learned from my sketchbook, and I'm also trying to apply to my filmmaking. Number 1, your next video does not need to be anything new or groundbreaking. How many times do you think Monet painted water lilies? And how many black and white landscape photographs did Ansel Adams take? How many Fast and Furious movies has Vin Diesel acted in? The answer is 10. He's been in 10 of them. Soon to be 11, actually.
I got nothing but time.
It is perfectly okay to repeat an idea. If anything, it might actually be beneficial. I know YouTube especially will reward a repeated idea. In my sketchbook, if I draw a landscape one day and then a turtle the next day and then a guy wearing a top hat the next day, I will get better at drawing, but they'll all probably be kind of mediocre, and I definitely won't be getting too creative when I'm drawing each of those things. But if I have to draw a turtle every single day in this sketchbook, not only am I going to get really good at drawing turtles, but I'm also going to get bored of drawing turtles and start figuring out how I can make it interesting. And I'm going to start drawing that turtle in New York City, and then I'll draw the turtle exploring the storm drains and stumbling upon radioactive ooze, and then all of a sudden the turtle will have 3 other brothers and they're all ninjas and their dad is a rat, and I'll draw the turtles fighting an evil criminal gang of ninjas and they have to save the city from them. There can be a lot of benefit in having a set concept or formula. It's a repeatable idea, it's a box to work within, and that way you know the bounds of where you're working and you can get really creative inside of those bounds. Sometimes I'll spend so much time and energy trying to invent an idea that's entirely new, something I've never done before that feels groundbreaking. But in doing that, by the time I actually get started working on the idea, I usually don't have enough time or enough energy to even focus on the practical filmmaking side of it. I'm usually not able to put too much creativity into the idea. I just have to execute this brand new thing I've never done before. There are plenty of times where it would be far more beneficial to just take a concept that I'm already familiar with, adjust it slightly, and run with it. Number 2, not everything you make will be your best work. When picturing a sketchbook, this seems perfectly obvious. You're not going to expect that every page you turn is going to be better than the last, just building and building until the final page of the sketchbook is this masterpiece. It's not realistic, and that's not even the point of a sketchbook. But for some reason, it seems like we still hold ourselves to that expectation. There's this idea that if we're going to put the effort into making something, it better outdo anything we've ever made before. But that's obviously not realistic. And progress is not linear. Like early on, when you're learning filmmaking, it could definitely be the case that every single thing you make is better than the last because you're learning so much, you're learning the fundamentals, and it's easy to improve every time you make something. But eventually, that's not going to be the case. Your progress will be full of ups and downs and turns and changes in direction and changes in what you're interested in and want to focus on. That's perfectly normal. That's how it should be. Just because the newest page of your sketchbook isn't your magnum opus, that doesn't mean you're not making progress towards one. Sometimes you will have ideas that are worth pouring every bit of effort and attention that you have towards that idea. But other times, you just got to make something dumb with your friends.
Pitches. The curveball's been good.
First pitch swinging.
And first pitch crushing.
I'm honestly not even fully sure how this short came about. I was hanging out with Ethan because he got some new anamorphic lenses and we wanted to film something with Bart, and Bart came up with this fun, silly idea, and we all kind of started brainstorming for about an hour and then decided to shoot it within the next 2 hours before it got dark. Is it the best thing that any of us have ever made? Absolutely not. But I absolutely learned some things through it, and I'm a better filmmaker because of it. It's also just so enjoyable making things with your friends. And in this YouTube or solo filmmaking world, I feel like that can be semi-rare. I know that a lot of us are craving more collaborative works and more in-person events. And coincidentally, Bart, Ethan, and I are all going to be attending an event coming up here soon that I'm so stoked for. It's the Camp Film Festival. This is exactly the type of event that I've just been dreaming would happen someday, and I'm so stoked that Creator Camp has put this together. It's a 2-day film festival in Austin, Texas, April 26th and 27th. There's going to be 12 different films premiering from all kinds of talented creators. And beyond that, this is more than just a film festival. It's a great opportunity for the entire online creative world to come together. There's going to be musicians performing and so many talented speakers. Jack Conte is going to be speaking, Gox, Natalie Lynn, Kane Pixels, and Wesley Wang. And I'll even be hosting a little breakout workshop alongside Eric Floberg. So it should be a really unique opportunity to see some cool films, meet creative people from all different corners of the internet and all different parts of the planet. So should be a good time. I'll leave a link in the description for how to get tickets and the discount code and all of that. And hopefully I'll see you there. Number 3, consistency is a superpower. This is like a near universal truth. for all things. It applies to your health and friendships and relationships, and it's true with art and filmmaking. In art or in film, the difference between bad and good work is really obvious. If you take someone who hardly knows what they're doing and someone who has a decent grasp on the fundamentals and the basics, the difference between what they make is going to be really obvious. But the difference between good and great work is far more subtle. When something is truly great, it can be hard to put into words why. A lot of times you can't really explain what makes it so great, you more so just feel it. I think a lot of filmmaking is really intuitive. Like you can't really teach pacing, for example. And I think a lot of that intuition is gained through repetition. You don't just draw in a sketchbook a couple times a year. The whole point is to be continually filling those pages, and eventually you might come across an idea that's worthy of ditching the sketchbook and pulling out this massive canvas and focusing on it. But for now, just incomplete pages of a sketchbook is perfectly fine.
Oh, this is really sick.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so fun. All the pans are like, I said confused.
It's so sick.